So he was your first choice, Prabhas.
He was my
and Priti
only
were
choice.
first. Okay.
He has been my only choice, if not, because it's very difficult. I have tried to recreate that into celluloid. And while doing that, I have chosen only one particular segment within the Ramayana and tried to do a screen adaptation of best of my ability
Right.
for the youth of this country.
Hello, this is Anita Britto and you're watching India Today. Today I'm joined by the very, very successful director, I must say, Mr. Om, who is, I can say, nervous. जितना मैंने उनसे अभी तक बात किया है, nervous, excited about Adipurush. So let's begin. Hello, how are you?
Hello, nervous to बिल्कुल नहीं हूँ.
So super excited.
Excited also, and I think जो भी, am I speaking Hindi or English?
English.
Definitely not nervous. It's the feeling which you always have before the world sees your work.
Yes.
So definitely there is that type of feeling. There's a little bit butterflies, but at the same time, one thing I know for sure, that whatever we've done, the best effort that we've put in is done with tremendous स्पिरिचुअलिटी. जो भी हमने किया है पूरी श्रद्धा के साथ काम किया है, और जो भी मैंने और मेरे whatever I and my team have done, the efforts that they've done, we've had great time making this film. I hope when people see the film in the cinema halls, they also have good time watching the film.
Nice. Let me take you back to when you thought of this idea, when you thought ki chalo, I will make this film. I want to go back to that moment. What was the thought process?
Oh my God.
How it's been a 3 years ka,
Yeah,
hard work.
Technically, this film kind of came to its rebirth in the pandemic, in the lockdown timing. But to be honest with you, the journey kind of goes back into 2001, where when I was studying, when I was in college, and I happened to see an animation film on Ramayana, made by a Japanese filmmaker. So when I saw that film, I was in college. I was fortunate to see the animation film, and when I saw that, I realized that it is a fantastic way that they had put it out. Ooh, it's a fantastic way. We have a storm coming in. So we had I had a fantastic time watching the film, and I said that if a Japanese filmmaker could make such a lovely film on our history, why can't we try to do something like this? So it's been kind of there in back of the mind, and as a college student, I ended up writing a draft of Adipurush then.
So this was in 2001, you're saying?
Maybe 1, 2, I don't remember.
Okay.
Somewhere around that time. And I ended up writing a draft. Of course, that's not draft that you were seeing it today. But in the pandemic, when everybody was home and everybody went through a lot of tough time, the entire world went through a lot of tough time. But it was a good time for me because, of course, there was difficulty of seeing things around you. But at the same time, I got some time to myself.
Yeah.
And that's when I was actually, I was at my parents' house when, kind of opened up the closet and, trying to look at the old thing that we had done. I was scheduled to do some other film.
Which is that film?
Some film which hopefully I get a chance to do it. But that's when I had the time and I opened this thing, and all old writings was something I came to me. And this one, Adipurush, is something that I saw and I said, hey, you know what? I have a lot of time now because we knew that it was going to go on for a long time, the lockdown situation. Why not I rewrite it when I have complete peace of mind? So I rewrote it, and I realized that it's come to where it has come, and that's when I got excited. So it's kind of been the product of the pandemic. At the same time, it is something that was written earlier, and then I rewrote it, and then approached Prabhas.
So he was your first choice, Prabhas.
He was my
and Priti
only
were
choice.
first. Okay.
He has been my only choice, if not, because it's very difficult to kind of reach that level. It's extremely difficult, and I've always said this, that it is impossible for anybody to actually understand Ramayana. It's not possible. In one lifetime, it is not possible. Forget about putting it in 3 hours. Forget about trying to recreate. It's not possible. What you can guarantee is the effort that you want to do and the effort that you can do. If you do everything with sincerity, it can reach the level. It cannot reach the ultimate level because it is impossible to achieve that.
Absolutely.
But what I can say is, I wanted to. I tried to understand whatever I could understand. Whatever I could understand, a little bit of Ramayana, I have tried to recreate that into celluloid. And while doing that, I have chosen only one particular segment which in the Ramayana, which is the Parakarmi Ram, which is the Paramveer, which is the Raja Ram, which is the Yuddha Kand. Or Yuddha Kand, within the Yuddha Kand, is something that we see the Prabhu Ram's. There are several qualities, but the Paramveer quality is something that comes
Connected.
across. That is something that appealed to me individually, and I've only tried to recreate that in such a way that it becomes something that the youngsters of our nation today, the youth of our nation,
Will
and
be
not
able
just our country, and everywhere in the world, it should connect to the youth. They are watching a particular type of film. They're watching the Marvel. They're watching the DC. They're watching a different content, global content. Ramayana is a literature. Ramayana is the great part of our Indian history, which has been written by so many. तुलसीदास,
Yeah.
महर्षि वाल्मीकि, बहुत लोगों ने इसको लिखते आए हुए हैं, and there have been several these things. So I've tried to stick to Valmiki's Ramayana and try to do a screen adaptation of best of my ability
Right.
for the youth of this country.
Right. But was it easy to convince Prabhas to take up this
To be
character?
honest with you, it was not, because I had a conversation with him on the phone because pandemic, we were all stuck. So I had a conversation with him on the phone, and he asked me the question that he said, "What is it that you want me to play?" So I said, "Are you serious? I mean, I want you to play Prabhu Shri Ram." So he said, Raghav is the character in the film because Valmiki ji mentions him as Raghav. So I said, "I want you to play the character of Raghav." He said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes." He said, "We have to, how will this happen?" I said, "I'll try to come to Hyderabad." It was lockdown, we were all stuck. I couldn't travel to Hyderabad, but it was impossible to narrate the film on Zoom call. Such a big film, it is not possible to narrate to such a big star. So fortunately, I got one pilot who was ready to fly
down.
from Mumbai to Hyderabad and bring me back the same day. That was a condition that you have to go, and he gave me fixed hours. He said, "I'll wait for you at the airport for that time, and I'll come back." So I went into his plane, and I went to Hyderabad. I narrated the film to him, and he immediately said yes. I called Bhushanji, T-Series, right after that, and from Hyderabad itself, and I told him this is what I am trying to do, and he's always shown unconditional support. He's always been there, irrespective of what the situation is. I mean, imagine it's a pandemic. It's a situation where people are losing jobs, people are getting pay cuts, but this man was there, and he said, it's an expensive film. To have somebody kind of believe in your vision is something very, very important. So he immediately said yes in, I think, in like a 4-5 minute phone call, and then we started making the film.
Prabhas, after listening to the entire narration, he was on board with
Oh
it.
yeah, he was very excited, and he's always a person who's backed me, believed in the the direction that I wanted to go in, and just always been there.
Right.
And I, grace of God, I think he'll be there even in future.
Right.